Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Voice Fusion session with Chris Velasco and getting your fulfillment of your unfulfilled potential of your Toastmasters membership. I'd like to introduce Chris. Chris has been a member of Toastmasters since 2016, I believe. She's a member of Bullmasters since 2016. She was also a member of McGuire Achievers for 4 years. And I noticed recently that she is also a member now of Midday Toastmasters. So congratulations to her. She has served as club president, vice president education, and secretary over the years between all these clubs. She has served as a mentor for the ETS Youth Leadership Program and created a new youth leadership program for one of our recently chartered clubs over the past couple of years, Trenton Housing Authority. She has served District 38 honorably and with dedication and commitment over the years. She has been the division director for Division F for 2 years, and she also served as its area director for 2 years. She was the club retention chair and is now the administrative manager. And Chris has achieved 2 Distinguished Toastmasters awards, her most recent one through Pathways, and has a passion for the program that has positively impacted her life. Please help me welcome our distinguished Toastmaster, Chris Velasco. Chris, take it away.
Thank you, Anne. I admit it that I'm very uncomfortable sometimes, hearing those types of things. But then I think to myself, each one of those things that I achieved, I worked hard and I earned it. So I have to get out of my comfort zone and just welcome when people, repeat back to me things that I've done. I'm getting better at it. I was so excited when Michelle Westgate asked me to, if I wanted to deliver a presentation about what Toastmasters can do for us as members. I mean, we all join for different reasons. And I started, like many of you, I had a need. And I thought Toastmasters may fulfill that need. But what I did not realize was where it was going to take me. And that's what I'm here to really talk to all of you about. And I'm hoping I can address a lot of different things, point you in the right direction, and then we can maybe even have some Q&A. But why did I join Toastmasters? Well, like many people, I wanted to be seen at work. I worked in a very large corporation and I did my job. I did it very well. I knew a lot of different people. But when the big bosses were thinking of who to select for this or that, who should come to a conference, who should speak at certain presentations, I was always overlooked. I knew more about those subjects than the people they chose to do those speeches. So I wanted to make sure I was seen. I joined Bull Masters in 2016, and it was February. And I have to tell you, by the time summer rolled around, I was all in. It was the legacy program where you actually had a physical book for competent leadership and competent communications. And I just dove right into both of those books. And the more confident I became, and the more speeches and projects I was completing, I had the gumption to go in and ask to be a speaker. at the next conference. I actually put together a proposal and said, this is what I would like to speak at the next conference, as if I was already selected. But see, I gained that confidence through being a Toastmaster and a member. I wanted to be also more comfortable speaking with the leaders of my line of business. Now, many of you may be fine with your team, you're fine with your immediate boss, maybe one level higher, but what about 2 or 3 levels higher? Do you still get nervous? Do you get tongue tied? Do you start to feel red in the face and, sweating through your blouse? Well, I used to go through all of that, but I knew the more I practiced in the program, that was going to dissipate, because look at what I just had the gumption to do by going in and saying, this is what I would like to speak about. I also wanted to gain a skill that was documented in my file, that file that everybody has on you. And I wanted to have a skill that others didn't have. I wanted that certificate that said I was a competent communicator. I was a competent leader. I achieved, you know, back then, it was advanced leadership, bronze, silver, gold, and the same for communicator, advanced communicator, bronze, silver, gold, and then the coveted DTM. Distinguished Toastmaster seemed like so far-fetched when I first joined, but I'm sure Anne can also attest. Once you start doing the projects and you're giving all these speeches and presentations and you're learning the entire time, time flies by and you just can't believe how your life has gone from one end of the dial to the other one. So I immersed myself, my confidence increased, and then I started to be approached by other Toastmasters in my club. Can you be my mentor? Can you help me with this speech or this presentation? Can you watch me and give me tips? Well, when they were looking for me for help, then I really felt like the big leagues. But I have to tell you, that was only the beginning. So, one thing that my mentor had always taught me was let's set a goal now. What do you want to achieve? Short range and a long range goal. We did that. But then she kept reminding me every 6 months, sometimes a year would go by and be like, have you changed your goals? And think about that. We set these goals for ourselves, we achieve them. It's like a diet, right? I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to run within a certain amount of time for that 5K, whatever it is that you set your goals for. But when you achieve your goal, is that it? Or do you set another goal? So my mentor made sure I kept changing my goals. I kept on updating them because she knew everything Toastmasters International had, and the number of challenges, the number of positions, the number of opportunities. And she never wanted me just to reach my one goal and then sit. And that's it. So I kept raising the bar. But how do I raise the bar? Now we switch over to pathways. All right. how do I how do I change my goals and raise that bar with a totally different program? Well, I had to now start looking for ways to challenge myself. So I started using the resources. Now, back when I joined, and I don't want to make any of you jealous, but we used to actually receive that Toastmaster magazine in the mail. Okay. And I love to read. I love, a magazine, a book. And when I would pull that out of my mailbox, I have to tell you, I was so excited. I would I would want to run and just sit down and jump right into it, but I may have already had something to do. So I made sure I carved out time because I really wanted to go through that magazine, highlight things, take a note, because something, as you're reading those articles, you get an idea for a project, a speech, or you pick up a technique. And then, well, who's going to help me with that technique? Who have I seen do that technique before? So, yes, I keep notes. So now the Toastmaster magazine is online, but that doesn't mean you cannot snip it, put it into PowerPoint or a Word document, and then type in some notes underneath. I mean, you have the opportunity to grab all that information out of those articles and then use it for your own benefit. And I have to tell you, the articles are fantastic. And they gave me so many great ideas for speeches. And I got really jealous of those Toastmasters that were in there. I just wanted to be like them. And I have to tell you, my own little, I've told you this a couple of times. My very first officer training uh, was organized by Jeanette McVeigh. She right now is an area director in Division F, but she's held many positions within the district. I wanted to be her. She was doing all kinds of stuff. She knew everybody's name. Sign this here, get this here, do this. Who's speaking? Bah, 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 bah. You know, she had that whole thing under control. And she knew how to delegate. She knew how to organize. She kept that thing going, and we started and ended on time. Yeah, I wanted to be her. And I've been trying, to keep that in my mind all the time because you have to keep certain things going, like remember the people and where you came from, because you know you have to take them with you. I don't want to lose sight of my feelings of how I want to be, just like Jeanette, because that keeps me wanting to pick a new person and a new person and a new person and keep on going. So the Toastmaster magazine, I used it. And I have to tell you, some of the articles in there actually helped me learn how to get in the right mind space before a presentation or before taking on a project. 2 years ago, I was asked to be the conference chair. It was the first in-person conference post-COVID. And that's huge. The conference is huge. I mean, hundreds of people attend. There's a contest, there's speakers, entertainment. I mean, picking the venue, the food, like there's a lot. But I use the tools that I learned in those magazine articles, and I used some of my what would Jeanette do? And just it all came out. And I have to tell you, it's one of my biggest accomplishments. For the first one since COVID, the conference went off without a hitch and everyone had a great time. We even had a DJ and we danced the night away on Saturday night. So it was a lot of fun. But now, if you were to go out to the Toastmasters International site, they have a video library, kind of like District 38 has its YouTube channel, and these voice fusions are on the video, are there for you to look and to learn from. District 38 has a video library. So if you're not one to read a magazine article and absorb it, watch the video. Someone can walk you through a technique, teach you how to incorporate humor into your speeches. There's a whole video on gestures, how to make meaningful gestures, and how to kind of get rid of the bad ones, like just talking with your hands all the time. The video library has an immense catalog of lessons that you can use, and it's all at your disposal. So as Toastmasters members, use it. That's what your $60 is also paying for. Use every resource they provide to us. Now, one thing I also love is to help my club. So I use a lot of newer members may not be familiar with the Better Speaker series or the Leadership Excellence series or the Successful Club series. They are 3 different programs that was created back with the Legacy program, but they're there for you so that you can learn something that will help your club. And I do want to just quickly share with you, if I can do this. Oh no, wait a minute. Let me minimize. Come on.
You can share. You
Yeah.
should be able to, right?
Yeah, I just had to get on the screen and so it'll be available. All right, when you go into your District 38 webpage, let's see, screens, documents, advanced. Where is it?
You might have to go right to the web page first before you share, and then come back and share, and it'll show up to be able to be shared.
No, it's all right. Here. All right, I'm going to try and do this as I'm, oh, there it is. Fantastic. All right. Come on up. There it goes. Okay. Here we are in District 38. Now, go to the resources tab. Okay. Down the bottom is Club Officer Jumpstart. And that's the screen that I'm showing right now. And you can get the Club Leadership Handbook. And I have to tell you, if you're a club officer and you've taken a new role, please download this book. And even if you haven't taken a brand new role, have anybody else that's taking on a new role download this. It helps you to fill in all the gaps. We all attend officer training and we learn a lot of great information there, but this also gives you some really fantastic information on how to fill that role. But this is where I want to bring you: officer tools and member resources. Okay, it used to be at the bottom of this page, but our webmaster now put it here in a link. All right, you're just going to come down here. Out here, you can learn about all the officer roles. Keep on going. Successful club series, better speaker series, and the leadership excellent. All right. You and all of your officers should be diving into these, and especially the BPE. Have some workshops, have some special, meetings where one of these modules are done. Okay, evaluate to motivate. Now, all you do is you download it, and they give you not only the booklet that you can read, a lot of them come along with a presentation, a whole PowerPoint presentation that you can also show. So it's like they're handing this to you for free. You just need to talk through it. That's it. Evaluate to motivate. Fantastic way to teach everybody in the club. How do you give a speech evaluation? Okay. Meeting roles and responsibilities. You want to bring new people onto your board, your executive board. Okay. There's one for that. The meeting roles and responsibilities. My club, Bullmasters, you won't believe this, we have 19 new members. It's unbelievable. We just had an explosion of new members. I did this 2 weeks ago so that they understood what all the roles are and what skills they learn taking on those roles, how to mentor. Okay, going beyond our club, how you take your skills and now you bring it out into your community. Okay, and I'm going to be talking about that a little bit. Better speaker series, how to write a speech, how to control your fears. Your one speech, depending on your audience, you're going to do it differently. And I learned that from Know Your Audience. So there's so many different great presentations included here. Please, please, please look into them. Download every single one and use them to your advantage, because these are not in pathways, but they can be the key that unlocks a whole new level for you. So I'm going to stop sharing there and get back to you. The other resource that I use, networking. I have taken advantage of as many networking opportunities that I can. And you're thinking, well, how do you network in Toastmasters? I go to other club meetings, and we have a lot of clubs that are hybrid or still virtual only, which makes it very easy, especially for someone that works. You just pop in and out. You can attend meetings, everywhere. And you meet people, start to talk to them, remember their names. And then if you're looking for someone to evaluate you outside of your club, ask to speak at their meetings, get a whole new audience, a whole new perspective, because sometimes our club members become so close. They're like family, and they don't want to offend you. It's like the person that doesn't want to tell you that dress makes your butt look way too big, or your haircut is bad, or your perfume is awful, right? Go to another club, get a whole new perspective. And that's what I do. I go to contests, the area, the division, of course, the district is always at the conference, but going to different contests, you meet tons of different people and you start to talk to them. They'll tell you where they work, what they do. You collect business cards, you swap them. You can meet people that have the same hobbies as you. I found out at the picnic in October that there was a Toastmaster club in Texas that is run like a book club. So they do read a book, but then they have speeches, aligned to the theme. The table topic questions are all about the book. And, they incorporated in. It's so interesting, but there are theme clubs all around the world. So you never know what you're going to stumble upon. Conferences, oh my God, great way to meet people. And I always take the time to talk to the first timers, make them feel welcome because they're walking around like, a freshman in high school and they're like, oh my God, and they feel this big in this vast, conference room. So I always talk to them if I see them in the ladies' room or at the buffet in a line. I just try to make them feel welcome. And then I chit chat. I got a friend for life. Social engagements. There are clubs that have special things outside of their club meetings. Um, Mercer's Best, they have a meeting, but it's in a park. And they get pizza and it's a social thing, but it's also a meeting. Going to stuff like that. Lower Bucks, they go out afterwards and they have drinks. They have, they get something to eat. Anytime I went to Lower Bucks, I had a great time going out with them. And they put on a fantastic Christmas party too. So I use that to network. And then when I have to run a contest, or if I'm a chief judge or taking some type of role, I know who to call because I know all these Toastmasters all around. So use the networking opportunities that are available. We have a passport program that is genius for District 38, and it was try and visit 10 different clubs. And you document it and you send it in, you're going to get a prize of some type. I thought that was fantastic because it gets people out of their comfort zone, gets them to pop in on other clubs. I popped in one out near Hershey, Pennsylvania. It was the Susquehanna Icebreaker Club. I knew one person there from when I was club retention chair, and they were going for their DTM. And he was a club coach. I assigned him to another club. Popped in, said hi to Russell. I met a whole bunch of new people. So, and when I see these people again at the conference, it's like I'll remember, yes, I love that meeting, but we get to talking, exchange business cards. Okay. What opportunities I use to achieve my goals? I always challenge myself. This right here is a challenge for me because I'm speaking at a district level. I've done it before, but it's been a while. And heck, I'm going to admit it. I'm intimidated by Ann Golden because she's so damn good at it. So I just, she just talks from her heart and it comes out so easy. So she's a very hard act to follow. But I said, no, I want to challenge myself and I want to put myself out there. So signed up as the speaker. You can also sign, raise your hand. You want to be contest chair for another division or an area contest. Let me tell you right now, finding chief judges is so hard. Nobody wants to be a chief judge. I don't know why, but if you're an experienced judge, I'm going to be chief judge for 3 different division contests because nobody will, they'll be a judge, but nobody's raising their hand to be a chief judge. I don't know why, but it's a way to put yourself out there. Yeah, I'm going to travel an hour and a half next Tuesday for Michael Freelander, but you know what? He's good to me, so I return the favor. That's what we do as Toastmasters. You want to challenge yourself as a leader. As I said, the contests, officer roles, work your way into all the different officer roles. President, you got to wrangle all those kittens, or puppies, whatever you want to call them, because sometimes they run around, crazy, and you do got to wrangle them in and make sure you're all following your club success plan. So it's great. It also tests you as a leader, but doing it very well, that's a feather in your cap. The taking district position or running for a district position. A lot of people get really hung up on that. And I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I have enough time. You know what? Contact somebody that's in that role now. All right. Ask them, how much time do you really spend? And, what do they train you? Ask them your questions. You can easily find me on the district webpage. Email me, okay? Call me, whatever. I will tell anybody about being an area director or a division director. And I just lay it out the way it is. The position is as much or as little as you make it. And I always try and do my best. So I went to all the club meetings, even as a division director. I went to all the clubs in the division. I wanted them to know that they had my support. They had me to help them along with their area director. Joyce was one of my area directors, actually for 2 years. And we would show up at a club at the same time, minds thinking alike. And it was great because that club had no problem in asking us for help. So being visual, being there, present in those meetings, Division F did a fantastic job with club officer training, with clubs qualifying for the DCP. We had a huge number that got distinguished, select distinguished, and a phenomenal number getting presidents distinguished. Yes, we did have clubs that folded. You're always going to have that. But it was actually for the best. Why have a club hanging on, struggling to keep 8 members when you could have those 8 members join existing clubs in your division, and they can actually enjoy their Toastmaster membership. We had so many officers that were burnt out because they had to go to every meeting. They had to fill multiple roles, and it was to have 3 people show up, I mean, it gets disheartening and you're trying to keep it going. But I got to tell you, those clubs with 8 members, they joined other clubs. They're still there and they're going through their path. So they're doing well because I check up on them. So it was the best thing just to close the club. And you're going to be hearing more about changes in District 38 in the next couple of weeks. But we have to address the clubs with the low membership. But the stronger you are as a member, the more you can help your club keep those meetings going, bring in some new ideas. And that's one thing about attending other clubs. Like I stole an idea from the club last night. I wrote it down. I'm bringing it back to my club. And, it's just to keep your meetings fresh and different. Mercer's Best even posted an idea instead of an inspirational moment or a joke master, have a magazine. I forget what they called it, magazine moment or something like that. And it was people that read magazines and they thought they found a really good article people would be interested in. They talked about it. Just 1 to 2 minutes. So it was something different. Things like that keep the meetings more interesting. So what I did at my job at Bank of America Merrill Lynch was I was a project manager. But every project has its ups and downs. And I want to constantly challenge myself. So, but a project at work tends to take a very long time, months, if not more than a year. So I use Toastmasters to have different projects that I could do and practice my skills, organizing, communicating, delegating. So the amount of opportunities you have as a project manager can go beyond your immediate club. As I said, you could always run a contest in your club or outside of your club, because as a contest chair, you have to find a chief judge. You have to collect all the forms for the contestants. You have to communicate when your briefings are. All these things need to happen. You need to check in. You have to find who's going to be your contest master, who's going to do this, your timers, your ballot counters, oh my. So there's so many different things you need to do, but that keeps me on my toes. Now, I was also conference chair, as I said, and we had subcommittees for everything. One person was just finding the speakers, and another person, I don't know about audio visual. So we tapped somebody else to find a really good company, because we had the contest, it was virtual for that conference. And then I used Jeanette McVeigh. Here she comes again. She was my logistics chair because she's so damn good at it. So like I said, 2016, when I was my club secretary and I want to be Jeanette McVeigh, here it comes 2022. And I'm like, Jeanette, would you be my logistics chair? It's the networking coming around again to help me as a project manager. Create officer training sessions. If you are a club officer, you got to attend training. Okay. It's coming up. You will know in April who the new division director will be for your division. If you have something important that you think club officers should know, contact that division director. Reach out, be proactive, and say, I'd like just to do, a 5-minute presentation or 10-minute presentation on this subject. And if you already have something in a PowerPoint, that's even better. So, and then you follow up with them like around May or June, because that's when they're going to start putting all their dates on and planning everything. There's no reason why a member cannot help out with officer training. It doesn't just have to be the area directors and that division director doing the whole thing. A lot of division directors start selecting people that they know are going to do a fantastic job, or they have really great content to share. So if you have something, step up, get yourself out there. Okay. And not only is that taking advantage of your membership, you're challenging yourself as a speaker, as a leader. And then you do the networking. So what opportunity, where did I take all this stuff? Well, I have served on many boards of directors of different 501c3 organizations. Ever thought, oh, me as a board of director? No, I think of stuffy old men, or the women with the pearls, with the little pill hat, sitting there. Now, board of directors for charitable organizations that you have a passion for, they need your help. Raise your hand. You can speak. You can help with fundraising. You can help, with their membership drives. You can create events for them because you're learning all of these skills as a Toastmaster. You can also organize groups of people, whether it's in your neighborhood or your friends and family, or even just kids. If you have kids, get all the other kids together, organize some help at a food bank, a charity walk, things like that. You're helping your community. But again, you're also using your Toastmaster skills to organize something and fundraising, but it's going to benefit so many people. At Bank of America, we have employee groups that tap into different people's, either their race, there's like we have a women's group, we have a Black professionals group, the Asian leadership group, LGBTQ, Pride. We have, I think, 13 different groups, all different pockets of people. Now, I could have easily have joined the women's group and a couple of others. I joined ones where I wanted to learn. I wanted to meet different people. So, OLA, Black Professionals Group, LGBTQ. Those are the 3 that I joined because I wanted to learn from other people. I wanted to learn about their experiences and their history, and just to educate myself about issues that I may not have a problem with, but I'm not looking at it from their perspective. Looking at things from another person's perspective is a fantastic leadership skill. You have to do that. When you're announcing bad news to your employees or a change, not everybody likes change. You need to see it from their perspective. You need to anticipate the questions that may come about or their reaction to your announcement. So, like I said, I joined 3. I ended up raising up to be the co-chair of the LGBTQ. I was an ally. Normally, all the leaders were within the gay community. they asked me to be one of the co-chairs because they saw how passionate I was for educating people on their issues and for just diving in. And I had no problem saying, I'm an ally. I'm an ally of LGBTQ and the Black community and the Hispanic community. I have no problem in telling people that I'm an ally. So when it came to organizing the Pride Parade in Asbury Park, you got 360 people from 4 different states. They were all bank employees from various different branches and a couple of headquarters. We went marched through Asbury during that parade, and Bank of America kicks off that parade as the lead sponsor. But we had to give out T-shirts. I had to collect Hold Harmless. I had to organize who was going to hold the banners, the flags, the signs, this and that. It was a lot. But I used my project management skills that I learned in Toastmasters. So and that was my DTM project. That's what I use as my DTM project for my second DTM, because it was a massive undertaking. And I have to tell you, we had the best time. And people still, when I go down to the Q spot in Asbury Park for drag bingo, or different, they just had a movie festival. Some people still come up and say, every time I see you, I think of Bank of America coming around that corner and being, 350 large. We all had white T-shirts with our logo, but in the rainbow color. And we went on and on and on. It took forever for us to all walk by. So, but that was a testament of what I learned here. And then being a mentor, I learned how to be a mentor to our club members. And then I learned how to be a mentor to clubs. But then what really was rewarding for me was being a mentor to the kids. And yes, I was mentor for the ETS, Youth Leadership Program. But when we had a brand new club join our division, and that was Trenton Housing Authority in Trenton, it's, what some people may call the projects, okay? The kids in the projects, they go to an after-school program within the office space of the housing authority. I asked them, I said, can I do an 8-week leadership program with them? And I just went through and told them, look, it's just to help them learn how to communicate better with others, with their teachers, their parents, coaches. They said, yeah. And I have to tell you, those kids got to me. I learned so much from them. And they learned from me. And we decided to do it twice a year. So I'm going to be going back in April to start another round at our area contest. The contestant from Trenton Housing Authority came up to me and said, the kids are asking for you. They want to know when you're coming back. So that just, I'm just overjoyed, because these are kids that were pretty much mad at everything, did not trust strangers, and their education is subpar. But they wanted me to come back and help them learn how to communicate with their coach or a teacher that doesn't respect them. So I'm like all in. And I ended up finding a couple of people at that contest that's going to join me for round 2. But use your skills to help kids, especially any of you are moms. you know, all the doubts and, the mean kids start really getting to your kids, like fourth grade to eighth grade. Oh, kids are so horrible at those ages. If you start a leadership program within the school as an after school project, you may help those kids find their confidence, and they'll be able to deal with their bully or just be able to speak in front of their classmates a little bit better than they had in the past. And if I help a kid, I'm on cloud nine because I help that kid learn a skill that they didn't have before. So engaging and thriving, okay? When you're doing a project or a program and you have your challenges, yes, I'm still nervous. I was nervous before I came on board here tonight, but when I come out on the other end and I know this went really well, wow, that wasn't so bad, you know, I didn't screw up too many times. What a great feeling that is. But they say if you're not nervous about trying new things, then you may be overly confident or maybe you don't care. So it's good to be a little nervous. It's good to care because that means you want it. I wanted this to go really well because maybe they'll ask me to do another one of these. And I would be overjoyed to give back to the district that has done so much for me professionally and outside of work as well. I've been, my opportunities and my whole life has changed because of Toastmasters. I have done things that I never would have thought I could do. And it's just, I just owe it all to the program and to the networking and the projects within Pathways. It makes me push my limit. And I got to tell you, like I said, that Toastmaster magazine, it gives me so many good ideas. I write them all down. I may not give that speech like right then and there, but I have a little book of all my ideas and things I want to do or whatever. I'll get to it. Doesn't have to be right away, but I have it. It's in my book. Don't be shy about what you want to accomplish and what you have accomplished. Make sure people know what you've done, your levels, your projects. I'm a mentor in a youth leadership program. I did this in my community. Go back to your club and talk about how you, as a board of director for a historical society, created, an opportunity for people to learn from the ancestors that once lived there, like that you had a children's event on that property to learn about how important birds and bees are. Okay, that was something that we did years ago. Use it as a way to tell your fellow members about your successes outside of the club. They know what you're doing inside the club. But if you're taking your skills and doing things outside of the club, even your work meetings, as bull masters, some of us are speaking at various different events. Me and a fellow member, we were asked to participate in the Black professionals group. They had a nationwide event, and it was all about opportunities within the company. And we were asked to talk about Toastmasters. Now, this was something that was going out to every state in the United States. It was, it was going out live, it was being recorded, and then it was going to be posted on the internet site within Bank of America. Yeah, I sat down there and I talked it up about Toastmasters and everything because I love it so much. We got a few members from the audience that came to meetings. They joined. So, but as Michelle Westgate taught me, never speak for free. I had a speech evaluator in the audience and I got credit for that. It was a level 4 or 5 about a panel event. I got credit for that. If you're speaking at work, have another Toastmaster join you, especially if you're in a corporate club. Have them join you, give you a speech evaluation, check that off in your path. Okay. You climb your levels faster when you use every opportunity to get credit. Now, I found my confidence within 4 to 6 months of joining. I loved every single technique that I learned. I'm still learning from other people. I watch other people in awe of how they can do certain things. And I embrace the opportunity to learn new skills. I became addicted to the positive nature that everybody has within Toastmasters. I've never met a grumpy Toastmaster. Everyone is so happy and so supportive. It's fantastic. And in the world today, oh my God, it's so refreshing to go into a room or be online with a whole bunch of positive thinking people. It really does just give me a little break from what's going on out there. So use every opportunity you have that the district has to offer, that your division or area, get to know your area director, get to know your division director, ask them about their positions, look on that district leader site and say, I'm really good at our club's free toast host. Volunteer to be you know, the new person for the district next year. I mean, just step up. Yes, it's out of your comfort zone, but I got to tell you, like I said, when you come out the other side and it was successful, oh my God, what a feeling you're going to have. And you're going to help so many people along the way. So I hope I gave you a couple of tips, a couple of things for you to take away. Please check out those speaker series on the District 38 website. Read the Toastmaster magazine, use your cut and paste feature, create your own little diary online, and get yourself a notebook, and write some ideas and things down, because I got to tell you, if you really just immerse yourself, your life can become anything you want it to be. And I'm a testament. I used to be a wallflower. I'm not anymore. And back to you.
Oh, my Lord. I would asking everyone to come off mute. This was a phenomenal experience. This is what Toastmasters is about. Chris Velasco represents what Toastmaster is about and how it changes you as a person. And those of us that have been in Toastmasters can attest to that. But her story tonight, if it didn't touch your heart, I don't know. It touched my heart. And we all got to get to know Chris even better than what we already knew. She is such a loving, giving Toastmaster, and she has worlds of experience. And you would have never thought I never knew how she truly felt, because I feel the same way. I don't feel secure. I feel insecure. And I looked at her as the go-to, the one with all the confidence. And you see how it is? So even those that you say, oh, we're not superstars, please don't ever refer to any of us as superstars, because we're not. We all struggle every day with the same things that you struggle with. And I would like for you to come off mute and really show your appreciation for Chris sharing her story tonight. If it doesn't motivate you to take you to the next level and to be really involved, her passion came through loud and clear, and her love for humanity. Please come off mute and let's hear it up for Chris Velasco.
Thank